Hey, welcome to the Cigar Room Show. I want to first and foremost give a shout out to Stock the Bar Premium Vodka. Stock the Bar Premium Vodka is a supporter of the show, and I appreciate you and thank you so much. And if you would like to find where Stock the Bar is located near you, you can look on stockthebar.com, stockthebar.com. You can reach out, Stock the Bar on Instagram, Stock the Bar on Facebook. You could also reach out to me and try to find out where Stock the Bar is located nearest to you. I also want to give a shout out to Sarah Bella Essentials, the best candles on the market for all your general purpose cigar room and any kind of needs as far as having a really good candle available in your space. And if you really enjoy candles, Sarah Bella Essentials is definitely the go-to for candle, especially for the cigar room show. I also want to give a shout out to the Cigar Room, Cigar Lounge. I appreciate you, my brother Tracy, man. Much respect and, man, much love for everything you're doing, man. You got nothing but my support, man. Absolutely going forward. So today I want to get into, are you really loved or are you really accessible? This was a tough one for me for years. I used to think like, would these people still care about me if I didn't do for them? Correction, that wasn't my original thought. That wasn't my original thought. My original thought was, let me do for people and then they're going to love me back. You know, they're gonna love me for it. They're gonna, this is my thoughts as a kid. Like, if people are getting something for me being around, they're gonna love me more. Now, granted, you're gonna do for people that you love, and you're going to build better bonds and relationships. A lot of times, showing another person, hey, I'm there for you. My problem was thinking that it would be reciprocated on a regular basis, be acknowledged, be understood that what I was doing was good and beneficial for the person and benefiting our relationship. I wasn't a person, eventually I was a person that when I, got a little bit older, I understood that I wasn't gonna get everything back that I was giving. Um, so I learned a very hard lesson years ago, don't loan money. So I don't loan money. I don't. That's just my thing that I do. Respectfully, it worked for me in my respective space and my boundaries that I set. I do not loan money. That's a boundary I set. But I had to learn, was I really loved or was I just accessible to people? Was I just really accessible? Like, they didn't really love me back. And everybody you do for isn't gonna just love you back. It's people gonna appreciate it, it's people gonna take it for granted, it's people that are going to maybe understand it later. Those people that understand it later are a very small minority of people, a very small margin. Most people are going to try to take you for granted most times of who you constantly give to. Because people who have an appreciation for the way you give, they're not gonna always ask. They're just not. Some people are, you gotta use your best judgment. You gotta develop your judgment. That's the one thing you have to do is develop your judgment. I had to on a constant basis. We all do. Over the years, we constantly try to sharpen our judgment, right? So one of the things is when you're talking to people and you're gaining and you're getting a better rapport, a better relationship. This is just, a lot of times for outside of your close family, you developing rapport relationships with people and you got love. You developing love for that person. You have to develop your judgment as well. You got to be observant, but a lot of times people, unfortunately, I'm speaking to these people who are that kind of in between. For those of you that got it figured out, great, good for you. But for those of us who look at things and say, hey, am I just being accessible or am I being really loved by this person? Opportunists are the kind of people that love for you to be accessible. An opportunist. Definition of an opportunist is a person who exploits circumstances to gain immediate advantage rather than being guided by consistent principles or plans. So, an opportunist, they just they don't have any good morals, good agenda for you. They got a hidden agenda most times. You know, they're doing it for something. You have something they want. Something. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It's just something. You have something to offer on a regular basis. You know, most opportunists manipulating to you to believe, hey, you know, if I can't get it from you, I get it from somebody else. But a lot of times they like those people who are easily accessible. They like those people that they can take advantage of. You know, if I can't get it from you, I'll get it from somebody else. And you want them to love you. You want them to care about what you're doing for them. You want them to acknowledge it. And every now and then they might. But it's only to keep you open. I'm speaking specifically about opportunists right now. These people are trying to keep you open. So they will leave you just dehydrated of love. And then say that one thing every now and then. Oh, and it's just so satisfying to you because you just, it's like a drop of water to somebody who's just dehydrated, who ain't had water in days, and you drop water on them. It's so satisfying, just that little bit. And some people are like, that's all I needed. And it gets you going, they got you going, and they got you open, really. They do. They're an opportunist. Understand the opportunist when you see them. You know, they're self-serving, they're self-centered. They disregard how you feel. They make you feel like you're the only one feeling how you're feeling, and maybe you're a little delusional with the way you're thinking, and you're overthinking it, and all that. You know, they play that card on you. They violate manners and decency just on a regular basis. This is a constant of an opportunist. You're gonna think a lot of times they're gonna change for you. They should be willing to change for you. They're not. Sorry, I don't even mean to laugh at anybody who's going through this currently. I don't. They're not going to change for you. As a matter of fact, they're gonna show you points of potential change, but it's never ever going to go there. Then they're gonna throw things at you potentially like, nobody changes overnight, and you know, you gotta be patient, you gotta go through things, everybody goes through something. Yeah, all right. Wake up. This person's an opportunist. This person's taking advantage of you. They taking you for a ride that at the end you're gonna regret the destination. Trust me. Trust me. I'm telling you, don't do that. You know, it's a possibility. This person may be an anomaly. You gotta be patient and everything. You know, all that optimistic talk. I'm sorry, this show right here, I want to have a real conversation with you. I'm having a cigar, I'm having a drink, and I'm just in my cigar room talking about some thoughts that I've had and experiences I've had, and having an in-depth conversation and perspective I'm giving to you. And I'm telling you, not just based off my personal experience, but statistics alone. I mean, communities. Look at the people within your community, what they go through, how they deal with people, how they deal with things. Be observant. This is not going to work out like that. Most of you are going to be hurt moving like that. Well, I'm just going to be patient, you know, just love them through it. And no, don't do that. If anybody else going to tell you don't do it, I'm going to tell you. For those people out there that believe that and want to be optimistic about it, have at it. Have at it. We'll see how this works out. Opportunists, stay away from them. They're manipulating and they take you on destinations you're going to regret. Stay away from them. Opportunists are some of the worst people that have access to you. They're some of the worst people. So don't fall victim to it. Now there's another thing called unrequited love. Unrequited love, or one-sided love, is love that is not openly reciprocated and understood as such by the beloved. The beloved may not be aware of the admirer's deep and pure affection, or may consciously reject it. The Merriam-Webster online dictionary defines unrequited as not reciprocated or returned in kind. So, you could love someone that doesn't understand loving you back. And a lot of people believe that they're in that situation. Then there's people who just don't have an agenda for loving you back. Like, listen, what was all this lovey-dovey stuff and all this? You're in a situation where you're unrequited love. It's just not gonna come back. And people will play on your emotions. I'm speaking to the people who are going through situations who they're playing on your emotions. You know, don't let them. Simply do not let them. Don't let people play with your emotions for too long. Some people just haven't seen it yet, and I get that. I get it. You know, but give them to grow. If they don't want to grow and they don't want to be weak, for so long I watched people in the communities I grew up in be patient with people, be giving, be loving, be all these different things, only for the majority of them to be let down. Nah, I used to want to understand that, like, you know what, you just gotta love people, and then people talk about unconditional love and all that, and that's fine. And people say that, but man, have I seen a lot of people get hurt. I've seen more people get hurt than less. It outweighs the other ones that don't get hurt like that. It really does. It outweighs it every time. It's because we have been trained to let people use us. You just gotta love them, you gotta forgive them, gotta constantly forgive, gotta constantly love. And it's like, we didn't learn setting boundaries. As much as people love us, there's no set boundaries. When in actuality, in reality, there's boundaries everywhere. There's only so much time this battery's gonna last, then I have to recharge it. There's only so much time the light bulb is gonna actually have life in it, and then I'm gonna have to replace it. There's only so much time this watch has a battery life, then I have to change it. We all got driver's licenses who drive cars. We're supposed to have a driver's license. There's still yellow lines in the street, regardless. People know what side of the street they're supposed to be on. And as a matter of fact, there's a ticket for one specific thing whenever you don't obey those laws, and it's called failure to keep your lane. Think about that. Because why? You didn't stay in the set boundaries. How often have you not stayed in your set boundaries with dealing with loving someone? You know you're overextending yourself, and you think that this is all going to work out. This is going to be reciprocated. Unrequited love is what you're going to end up with most times. And as much as it hurts, because a lot of people want a return on investment, much as it hurts to hear that, trust me, I've been there. Just understand, you have to learn to set boundaries with it so you're not as accessible. People won't continuously get down on you. Don't let anybody keep being a mental punching bag for you and making you feel less than because you've loved them, you've cared about them. You don't have to do that. For what? For what? What are you there for? Because why? You're in it. So a lot of you people, I get it. You feel like we're in it. We got to stick it through. I don't want to just give up and give up so easily and all this because this is the way you've been trained to think. When in reality, this person is going to take you down through there. They're an opportunist. They're a manipulator. They're giving you unrequited love. It's one of the most saddest things. It's one of the most hurtful things. We like to believe we can love unconditionally. We like to believe that no matter what, we're going to love someone. And too often, we weren't taught to set boundaries. And this is just my opinion. I believe that's why a lot of us end up with so much pain. Because as much as we were taught, as far as examples of love, we weren't taught setting boundaries. So we became more accessible to people who were opportunists instead of being really loved by someone who could have been in that same time and space loving me back. So there's a book, one of my favorite books, The 5 Love Languages. I want to say this saved me because I was able to learn what it was loving myself, how I want to be loved, and how I need to love other people. The simpler way of loving someone, and basically, you used to get stuff. You give to them, be there for them, and do certain things, or you listen to what they said they wanted. Some people don't exactly always know what they want, though. I'll be honest and say I was one of them. I wasn't sure how I wanted to be loved at different points in my life. But once I figured it out, I had to let the person who I was dealing with know. If I didn't, I was at risk of being frustrated all the time. So telling someone communicating to someone, hey, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy. It gives me the opportunity to get self-care because they're going to be there for me. I don't have to have a misunderstanding because I communicated it with them. Communication. A lot of people say relationships, communication is key. This is very high on significance for anybody dealing with someone and definitely wants them to understand, hey, this is how I express my love, or I want love to be expressed to me. And some people don't understand expressing love that way and the way you like to be loved. And now they know. But also I want to know from the person I'm dealing with how they like to be loved. Now this may all seem complex. For some people it may even seem like it's too much. It's too much. Listen, hey, we together, this, that, and the other. I get it. For those of you out there that may find this book intriguing, The 5 Love Languages. Gary Chapman was the author. 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate. The 5 love languages are quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Some people have multiple love languages. And you have to identify them. There's ways to identify it. Words of affirmation, like one of those, encourage, affirm, appreciate, and listen actively. Send an unexpected note, text, or card. Not recognizing what is the actions taken, and things to avoid with someone who has a love language of words of affirmation. Not recognizing or appreciating effort. That's something you must avoid with someone whose Love languages, words of affirmation. Physical touch, not verbal use of body language and touch to show love. A nonverbal use of body language and touch to show love. That's how they communicate with their love language. So actions to take: hugs, kisses, cuddling. Things to avoid: physical neglect or abuse. Receiving gifts, I think that's pretty straightforward. Uh, but the one thing about receiving gifts is giving thoughtful gifts. That was one of those really detailed things about receiving gifts for someone that being their love language. Thoughtful gifts and gestures. Express gratitude when receiving gifts. Things to avoid: unenthusiastic gift receiving, forgetting special occasions. Quality time, uninterrupted and focused conversations. One-on-one time is important to someone whose love language is quality time. That's how they communicate with their love language. Uninterrupted and focused conversations. And it's very specific about that when that's their love languages. So during that time, distractions when spending time together, long time without one-on-one time, that's hard for someone whose quality time is a love language. Quality time being their love language, it's an extremely hard thing for them to go through, is that space and time. You got so much compensating to do in those situations. Acts of service. Let them know you are wanting to help to lighten their load. Lacking follow-through on small and large tasks is a very, very, very significant thing to avoid. Like, it is very important you pay attention to not failing a person whose love language is acts of service. If you don't come through for them, they're hot. I can't believe that. Why didn't you just say you couldn't come through? Why? I would have just avoided asking you or letting you all together. It's a blow up from there. But learn those love languages of other people. Let other people know your love languages. When you communicate your love language and you see someone's not acknowledging it, understand something. They don't have any interest in loving you. Please, those of you, don't fall for that. It's just they don't see it yet or they don't understand it yet. Please, please, please. We gotta grow out of that. Unfortunately, that's a hard pill to swallow. Trust me, I've been there. But yeah, don't keep falling for that. There's a lot of opportunists out here. So ask yourself, am I really loved? Or am I really just accessible to an opportunist? To a person that doesn't understand love? A person that's not trying to understand love? Ask yourself that question. Am I really loved, or am I really just accessible? Am I just letting myself be available every time? And all due respect for those of you that live your life different and are okay with dealing with people at a distance and dealing with people how you deal with them, I'm not talking to you. You know, you're free to do what you do. I'm speaking specifically to the people who want to have an understanding of the title of this actual episode. Am I really loved, or am I really just accessible? It's a tough space to be in. And I hope you take some of these points and some of these understandings and experiences I've shared and take them to heart. This will be the first episode of this kind of series. I encourage you to ask yourself that question. Am I really loved, or am I really just accessible? I hope everyone out there has a blessed and prosperous week from the CIGAR Room. Thank you.